Have you ever wanted to create something truly elegant, vibrant, and inspired by nature? Today, I'll show you how to make a stunning Japanese-style ginkgo leaf hairpin using wire art. Whether you're a seasoned crafter or just getting started, you'll love how easy and rewarding this project is. But before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications so you'll never miss out on any of my tutorials. Ready to make something extraordinary? Let's get started. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to make a ginkgo leaf hairpin, and so I got these on Amazon, and I sort of thought about my placement here, and since these wires aren't so big and since it's a hairpin, I don't want the leaves to be too huge. So I sort of figured out what kind of size I'm looking at, and I do want to hang a couple of these. I think these, it's open. These beads, probably these holographic ones here. They look really pretty. I think they would look great. I'll be using today actually 24 gauge, not 26, 24 and 29. And I have these that I bought from AliExpress. And what's good about these is that they have the little jumper rings on the ends. So it would be easy for me to put these beads on here, I think. But now I'm looking, the hole is actually quite large. I think I may need to switch to a larger jumper ring to get it on there. If you guys are ready to make an amazing ginkgo wire hairpiece, I do suggest for you to sort of write out what kind of design you'd like to make. You're going to choose a gauge that is a little bigger than the size that you want. For me, this one will be the 40 millimeter size, because after I bend them and shape them, they're probably going to be about that size. So I'm going to take, I know this is 26 gauge, but I'm waiting on my 24 gauge to come. I need to wait till tomorrow, and I don't have time to wait till tomorrow. So here we go. Okay, let's put this aside. This is going to be a simple single loop, y'all. The reason why I'm going to go with the 24 gauge, and I'm just showing you guys right now how to do this, is because I believe that the 24 gauge is going to be thicker and stronger and will keep shape better. For the ginkgo leaves, it's very skinny at the bottom and they flare out like so. You may want to put a little indentation in either the middle or the sides. It doesn't matter. That looks like a heart. And then right about here, I'm gonna go ahead and bend it in there and make a little corner like that. See, it's starting to look more and more like a ginkgo leaf. Now it looks like a whale's tail. See how this 26 gauge is pretty flimsy? Doesn't really keep its shape. Even if I touch it just a little bit, you could change shape. So that's why I don't recommend using a 26 gauge. It would be too soft. And I'm going to put a few little crinkle ridges in here, back and forth. We're going to take either 29 gauge or 30, whichever one you have. Depending on the size of your leaf, I want to put as many of these bridges as possible. I think I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that too many? The more that you put, the more gorgeous and beautiful it's gonna look. So it's up to you. Okay, next day I got my 24 gauge from Amazon, and look, they gave me the gold. I specifically ordered the light gold. Anyways, don't worry, it's gonna be marvelous, darling. It's gonna be marvelous. Okay, in my little childish drawing, my usual childish drawing, oh no, that I made, I think I had like 7, so I'm gonna make 7 and I'll be right back. Look how cute these turned out. Oops.
Okay, so now I'm going to add the 29 gauge. If you guys have 29 or 30, whichever is fine. It's all up to you how many bridges you want to make, but I feel like the more that I make, the more gorgeous it's gonna be. So that's why I have 7 here, and let's take one of these, and you're gonna place it here at the bottom. We'll first sort of get them all in a row. Place them flat between your fingers so they could all be like not bunched up. It's going to be flat in a row, okay? And I'm going to take, let's see, some of this wire that I have. I'll link it below. This stuff is like really thin. Do you see it? It sort of like comes apart. This is used a lot for this kind of wire art, and I'm gonna wrap it with this wire, with this thread. So here we go. I could go backwards since this is like not wanting to cooperate with me with my long nails. It's trying to wrap around my nail. You see that? It's nice and pretty. Now I'm gonna put some super glue on here. Pull this way. Let go of that. My nails. Why do I do this kind of art and I have such long nails? This kind of wire art is not long nail friendly. Okay, here we go. Here's some drops of super glue. I noticed that the one that I just did, they're way too long, so I'm gonna cut them to about this length here. Okay, so now this has dried, and the reason why I said to lay these wires flat is because you do want them to look, you don't want them to be all like crisscrossed and at the bottom. You want them to be parallel to each other. You don't you want it to be nice and pretty, where you don't want them to cross over each other. Fan them out, figure out, see how like this is crisscrossing. You don't want that. Okay, so now that you figured that out, make sure you hold here, even though you have super glued this, it's not going to totally stay 100%. So make sure you are holding this tight. So now you're going to clip this. I finished all of my little ginkgo leaves, and now let's get to dipping. One of these I did with only 3 bridges, so you can see. As you can see, it still looks really cute. You know, you don't have to do 7 like I did, and it's a different shape as well, so you can shape them like this. Ginkgo leaves, this is another type of ginkgo leaf shape. So yeah, these are cute as well. Okay, and I'm gonna dip this one, which is different from the others, with the UV dip resin that I reviewed in my last video, which is this one, the Tea Expert. And like I mentioned, the consistency is just right. It's not too thick and it's not too thin, and I really like how it performs. I will link it below so you guys can get your hands on this if you want. Okay, because I know it's difficult to get your hands on the Toa dip. Although I sell it in my eBay store, I know that it's a little costly because, sorry guys, shipping is really expensive. It is what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna do them both so you can see the difference. Here we go. So I'm gonna dip it all the way in there, all the way to the end. And I do want it to be as thin as possible, so I'm gonna lift up slowly and let it close and whoop like that. But this isn't as thin as Toa dip, so of course it has a little bit of runoff, has a little bit of pooling, but it still looks really nice. Okay, let's go under the light. This is the best product as of yet. It cures very nicely. If you guys can see. Just a little bit of thickness in certain places, but not bad. You know, it's been really hard finding like the right texture, the right consistency, and I'm really happy with it. I do really recommend it. Like seriously, if you can't get your hands on Toe Dip, get that. The reason why I do recommend Toe Dip the best is because I'm about to show you. You don't even need to go under the light. You just stick it in your little styrofoam like that and let it dry. And make sure that before you guys dip, so I'm going to dip the rest of these and I'll be back. Okay, I am back and I finished dipping everything. I wanted to show you guys the difference between Toe Dip and this UV dip resin that I recommend. And let's see. This stuff is as thin as it gets, I guess, for UV resin compared to the other stuff that I've bought in the past. But of course, Toe Dip is going to be super thin. Like it's like imagine like saran wrap. That's what it feels like, because it is sort of like a plastic, not really like resin. This stuff is really good. I really recommend it for those who can't get Toe Dip. Let me know if you guys know any other brands you'd like for me to test out. So then I'm going to color these and I want them transparent. The best stuff to use when you want colors to be transparent is alcohol ink. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use mostly yellow, and I was thinking yellow brown, but I don't know. You know, brown is not really a pretty color. So I'm thinking like maybe I'll do yellow and a green. Like the green is turning into yellow. We'll see. Let me play around with the colors and see. Oh yeah, and really quick, I'm gonna try out this Tea Expert resin to color these with. So let's check it out and see if it's nice and hard, if it's not sticky, or what. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm gonna use this yellow, which is lemon yellow from this off-brand stuff. It's the most like yellow, and I don't have brown, so I mixed some of this golden yellow and some coral or something and some teal. It's supposed to be yellow, green, and red, so anything similar I just threw in there and made my own brown. And for the green, I'm using this Resonate blue green. I'm going to paint the back as I always do. You're going to decide that it's going to be the front. I just want to make sure that the gold from the wire stand out more, which it will do so if I paint the back. So yeah, I want it mostly yellow. I'm going to fade in the green a little bit like that. I need more green. A little bit more green. Oops, I'm not even in the shot. Hello. Did you guys see any of that? Oh my gosh. I want a white background. See how you can tell the colors better if they're blending or not. Like that. And I'm gonna add a little bit of brown to see how I like the brown. If I like it or if I don't like it. And the brown just looks like a dark orange. But it's nice. It's blending better than the green. What do you think? Okay, let me cure it and see. Let's see. Okay, so I have finished painting all of these, and I just want to let you guys know that this resin works really well. It's not sticky at all. Yeah, it's really good. So I'm really happy about that, because the other resin I used to use, it was actually really sticky. So let's put this bad girl together. I'm going to use 29 gauge. So if you have 29 or if you have 30, whichever is fine. And first, let me figure out the placement. I always like figuring out the placement first, so it's not just coinkydink. So you want to make sure that you have a nice plan. Let's just lay them out here and see, like that. sorta. I'm gonna take this. I will put it, like I mentioned, I'm going to place everything in the description box below. And where is the opening? I don't know if you guys have noticed, I always have a hard time opening stuff. Oh, it's child-proof. Okay, here we go. Alright, so what you're going to do is take the really skinny, thin wire that you have. Okay, you have to start with the top one first. You go like this, right? Then from right where you want to wind it, you're going to go ahead and go around once, twice, okay? Now you start going down. And make sure you're winding it nice and clean. Okay, don't overlap. Pay attention. I'm going to snip it right here. You've wound it tight enough. It should stay. See, like that. Do you see? Okay. All right. Now, whoops. Let's go to the next one that you want. You want this one to come about, like right about here, I guess. So, same thing. Okay, now that you've wound up your second leaf, you are going to add it to the first one, crossing them over like this. You're going to wind now these together, and so on and so forth. See, like that. Now these are together. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this to add the other ones. Now we've gotten this far where we're at the last leaf. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this leaf on this side, I guess. Let's take this pin that we have, and we're going to take this and wrap it around. And that's all you're going to do is wrap it around the pin, and I'll come back as soon as I get like to the end over here. You don't want to wrap it all the way down here. I'm probably going to wrap it only up to here and then tie it off, okay?
So I really had a difficult time trying to wrap the wire around this hairpin. So I used this stuff. It's like embroidery thread to wrap it around the hairpin, which worked out a lot better, a lot easier. So the way that you do it is you wrap a little bit and then you put a drop of super glue so it won't come apart. And then you can keep going and another drop of glue, dry, keep going, so on and so forth. It makes it really easy to put it together, and the super glue hardens and it keeps everything very nice and clean. Okay, so now I'm going to add these jewels and there it is, your vibrant, elegant, Japanese-style Ginkgo leaf hairpin crafted by hand. Isn't it amazing how a few simple tools and wire can create such a timeless piece of art? If you love this project, give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more incredible wire art tutorials. And you won't want to miss my next video where I'll be creating an amazing wire orchid flower that will absolutely blow your mind. It's one of my most intricate designs yet, and I can't wait to share it with you. Thanks for joining me today, and until next time.